for movies that DreamWorks, of course, to make. And it occurred to me one day that this would be kind of an amazing movie to show what it would be like, to have the vehicles that just sort of pass through our lives that we so take for granted, that there could be, something hidden, hiding in plain sight. And that whole basic concept of the Transformers toy line seemed to be very much a motion picture in waiting, and I just couldn't imagine why, that hadn't been done before. So I brought the whole franchise idea to Michael, and Michael, once he sort of got involved in what the toys were, who the characters were, who the Decepticons were, who the Autobots were, Michael completely became enamored of the possibilities of Transformers as a film, and committed and went ahead and turned it into 3 wonderful pictures.
This is a very successful franchise, so I think the subject matter is totally appropriate to be in a ride. I had a great experience helping to make this ride. This movie is totally meant to be a ride experience.
Michael Bay's unique talent and skill set is perfect not only for Transformers as a movie, but also for the ride, because Mike understands, first of all, visually, how to shoot things that won't be there until months and months later. It takes a real skill to understand how to choreograph action and storytelling with characters that aren't there until post-production.
You can't ask for a better thing than to get a guy like Michael Bay to help you, design a ride. He has such a great sense of bringing, particularly this franchise, to life on film. So the sensibility that he brings to the characters, to how they work, to the physics of how they move, really gave us great insight and gave us a great window of opportunity.
Based on the blockbuster movie franchise, the inspired masterminds at Universal Studios Hollywood have pushed the bounds of technology to create the most immersive thrill ride in history. Transformers The Ride 3D, with the collaboration of visionary filmmaker Michael Bay and the visual effects geniuses at Industrial Light and Magic, this technologically advanced mega attraction has revolutionized the next generation of theme park rides.
We're going to put you in the middle of the story of Transformers, from beginning to end. You're going to come face to face with the characters. They're going to jump off the screen. They're going to get right in your face. You're going to go into their world. It's just a romp.
Autobots, roll out. Welcome to Nest, recruits. Carry on.
Well, Nest is the government operation that's teamed up with the Autobots to kind of protect the Earth and stop Decepticons from stealing the Allspark. The Allspark is really the one element, the one piece that the Decepticons need to survive, and it's the energy source for them. It's kind of the whole premise for our ride, to come in as recruits and to help Nest fight the Decepticons.
And while we're there, the Decepticons attack. They're looking for the Allspark, which is vaulted in the Nest facility.
And then we're eventually taken into this whole chase and pursuit where we're playing the main role. Instead of just watching Autobots and Decepticons fight, we're actually part of the action. We're becoming one of the main actors in the action.
And then we're recruited to protect the Allspark, and we actually go into a Transformer. So when we're riding the attraction, we're actually riding in a Transformer.
We brought a new character, Evac, a new Autobot, to the story. We're going to team up with him to go protect the Earth. And that's a pretty big task, if you can imagine. So this Evac can turn into a special vehicle, and he's a robot as well. And he basically asks us to come along with him to go and protect the Allspark.
Well, Evac is one of the few custom characters that was designed for this attraction. ILM took parts, bits and pieces and ideas from some of the existing characters and created a whole new character that also incorporated what our ride vehicle looks like. So it's a combination of our ride vehicle plus hybrid bot where he's in combat mode plus a regular Autobot. So he takes 3 forms.
Evac pivots 360 degrees while catapulting riders at simulated speeds of 60 miles per hour along 2,000 feet of ride track. Universal Creative bore this gripping epic journey by teaming up with filmmaker Michael Bay to bring back to life his larger-than-life characters.
Heroes fight.
You know, Transformers are about 40, 50-foot robots, 20-foot robots. And there's nothing better than if they can interact with the audience. It's neat to go back to the inception of these robots, making them live action, to now see it in a full-size ride.
You know, Michael just totally gets what these robots are, what their personalities are, how they interact with each other, and then how they should interact with us on the ride, and how they move. I think that was one of the things that was a sensibility that he brought to the table that we really didn't have. And how does that relate to the ride?
But he also, as it relates to the ride, has a great understanding of motion and physics. He just understands, the reality of how things work and how to capture that on film and how to then translate that into what's exciting for an audience, to experience on a ride.
Universal Studios Hollywood enlisted the original voice talent. Coming up, meet the artists behind the mic. Staying true to the popular Transformers franchise, Universal Studios Hollywood collaborated with the original voice actors to reprise their iconic roles. Guests come face to face with some legendary Autobots and Decepticons.
Protect the Allspark. Protect each other. Good luck. Prime out.
We felt it was really essential for us to be able to work with the authentic voice actors that created these characters years ago. It's so fantastic. I think the fans are going to be able to really appreciate that, and we know that it was essential for us to make this true and authentic to the property.
This is your last warning, insects. But the future of both our species will be decided by what happens with you. Decepticons! Destroy them! Protect the Allspark.
To describe the whole overall experience with Transformers going back to the early 80s, and culminating with today and this incredible ride. It has to be one of the most exciting commitments I've ever had in my life. It's been one heck of a ride.
To be able to take all of today's technology and to take, the stuff that's Michael's done with the film and all the incredible effects. I mean, it truly is mind-blowing. I mean, it's just, it's cool. It is really cool. It's a ride I would go on many times.
The illusion of what you're experiencing and the ability technically to pull it off to make it completely real experience. You're completely immersed in this world. It's off the charts.
Just dropping in. Hope you're not scared of heights.
Greetings, recruits. I am Ratchet, Autobot Medical Officer. There's a sense of total engagement in the story itself, and I think the audiences are going to go wild over this. I think it's wonderful. I can't wait to ride it myself.
Listen up, recruits. I'm Autobot Evac, part of Optimus Prime's Nest Detail.
Ready or not, it's mission time.
I can remember having the little toys, and from the toys, like now years later, going, all right, I'm voicing a Transformer myself, and then this is a ride, and it's just all exciting. It's great to be part of.
The development of Transformers has been a phenomenon since day one. The brilliance of coming up with a toy a child could interact with, take apart, put back together, and then to have a television series that enabled them to be a part of a dramatic moment as well, and then start playing with their favorite characters. It was innovative, it was genius, and then you put voices to it, and you put good and evil together, side by side, and interact with your favorite characters. It came at the right time, and it took off, and it has never failed, and it continues. It's just well, I said that earlier, phenomenon. But it is.
I think.
Why don't I do it as if when he's in flight, he says,
Never!
Take two. 109, take two, Mark.
Action.
Hello, recruits. Welcome to headquarters.
Authenticity of the experience begins the moment the guest enters the 60,000 square foot facility, which houses the top secret Nest Command Center, where guests are recruited by the one and only General Morshower.
When guests come into Nest, we wanted to make this feel as realistic as possible. So we got General Morshower from the films to be part of the experience here.
He is actually, the official title is the commanding officer. They referred to me as chairman in chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of Nest. Nest stands for the Non-Biological Extraterrestrial Species Treaty. You've never heard of it because it's top secret. And so he runs it. He's the head honcho. What he says go, and he's kind of a no-nonsense sort of fella and expects people to do as they're told when they're told. So it's pretty cut and dry.
Well, what are you waiting for? A personal invitation from Megatron? Earn your rank and make your planet proud, recruit. Let's see if you've got what it takes. Morshower, over and out.
You know, my path with Transformers started with me as a colonel in the original Transformers film, followed by being promoted to general, and specifically general using my own name, and now this turns into a literal magnificent ride. So how blessed do I feel? I can't imagine not completely being at full effect when you are on these rides. I would just think it's going to be a hoot. We used to say in Texas, it's going to be a hoot and a half. So I expect it'll be a hoot and a half.
Next, the visual effects pioneers at Industrial Light and Magic reveal the secrets to creating a 3D photorealistic Transformers world. The Academy Award-winning team at Industrial Light and Magic have raised the bar once again by bringing the Transformer characters to life in 3D at 4 times the resolution of HD in a photorealistic quality never before seen.
Out of the cartoon, where they started in a 2D world, bringing them to 3D, and now with the capabilities of CGI, we can really make them look realistic, like real life. So people get to experience them now, particularly on a ride, in a very visceral way.
So I'm the Digimat department supervisor, and the Digimat team create all the environments for the ride. So on this particular project, I was involved in putting together a plan to go to Chicago and shoot photography of all the buildings so we could recreate Chicago in the ride.
We had a whole section where we were flying through a city, and typically with a ride, because your camera has to be able to go anywhere, you'd start building a virtual city. We put a camera up on a man lift and shot 360-degree photographs. And then from those, we're able to build the city that you actually fly through.
The screen that the viewer watches the ride on is so big, we're having to put a lot more detail in the actual images that are plastering these particular buildings.
And so you ended up with a city environment that you could look at from any angle because it existed as a 3D model, and the resolution is photorealistic. So when you pull up to one of our screens in our ride vehicle, you literally can't tell the difference between what's media and what's set work, and it allows us to do a lot of very spectacular magic.
Part of what makes this really unique for us is that we're used to working on a flat movie screen. And with the ride, we've got something completely different in that we've got 13 screens to work with, all different sizes and shapes.
So in the ride, when you're sitting in the actual cabin and in the seat, it's all the way around your peripheral vision. So we have to create the ride as we go down the street. You have to create the view down the street in case somebody happens to be looking at a particular direction. So the field of view is 270 degrees always.
It's a whole new language with the ride and the perspectives of what you see on your car.
And then the tourist screens are really big screens. They're all 4K and stereo, and they completely fill your vision. What you see when you're sitting in the car is really a region in this area as filling your vision. So everything else is, even beyond that, you can look around and get a sense that you're in this world. And what I think is going to be exciting for people that go on the ride is, as you watch it, the first time through, you'll be focused on all the characters in action right here. But as you go through on your second and third time, You can look down the side streets and actually see that we've built out Chicago so that as your head turns, the perspective is correct even from right or to the left. And I think that's very unique and something that's completely new for us in terms of being able to work in such an immersive environment.
What Universal Studios is creating with Michael Bay here is the perfect marriage of what Michael strives for constantly in his filmmaking, which is involving you, putting you right in the driver's seat. You're experiencing these robots fighting, explosions blowing up left and right. That's what makes it exciting. And here with the ride, we actually are moving through these explosions. We're experiencing the media in 3 dimensions, going through smoke, going through water effects and whatnot. And so you have that added dimension in this tactile environment. It's extremely visceral for the rider.
Today we are going over the fight, choreography, and robot movement for Transformers The Ride at Universal. When I met with Michael Bay, his instructions and direction was that he wants the robots to be as visceral and grounded as possible. He wants the most amazing action that we can give to the scene, yet we have to remember that it is a 3D ride. And on top of all of it, he wants the storyline from beginning to ending of the ride, and you're going to see these 2 iconic good versus evil storylines evolve.
Michael really cues in on exciting stuff, and a mixed martial arts style allows him to get that, keeps it grounded with the grappling and the body slams and the like that you and I would sort of just expect to happen in a fight. So by using a mixed martial arts form, it feels special, but at the same time it feels very grounded.
It's really fun to do a movie and to see your work on screen, but this is a ride. It's new ground for me.
Prepare for the ultimate battle as Transformers The Ride 3D enlists your help to protect the Allspark. Infused with adrenalized multi-level ride track, visceral special effects, and one of the most elaborate flight simulation ride systems ever created, Transformers The Ride 3D is sure to thrill generations of fans for years to come.
Movies are going to look at this experience and they're going to try to figure out how to replicate what it is we do, and I'm proud to say it's here at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Whether you're a fan of Transformers or not, this is going to be an extraordinary adventure. But if you are a fan, this is going to take you on a complete ride of your life. You're going to get up close and personal to your favorite characters. You're going to get in the middle of the action and be part of an adventure that's all about saving the Allspark and protecting the future of the universe. I mean, what could be bigger than that, right?
The Transformers ride at Universal Studios Hollywood is probably one of the most advanced technologically of any attraction.
What we tried to do with this ride was to make it as real as possible, to take 3D to another level. We've raised the bar in terms of the digital effects we're using for this ride. In every level, Universal is trying to push the level of what they've done in the past. You have the sensory, you have the air, you have the water, you have the 3D experience, you have the centrifugal force, the G-force, you have all that stuff that you can't do in a movie. To put that into a ride, as well as your movie footage, and to try to envelop people is a great thing to do. It was a lot of fun. I wish we could do this in movies.
I think the worldwide audience loves Transformers because it's cool, number one. There are cars that are super cool, and they transform into these super fighting machines and beat the heck out of the Decepticons and the bad guys. What's not to like?
Well, the Transformers property has all the elements to make a perfect ride. The ride experience that you can't believe. The huge action, great characters, bigger than life. You have the exhilaration of all these moments that Michael Bay has created for his films, and we're placing you right smack in the middle of the action, and you become not just part of the action, but you play a major part in the action.
So, it's just a great adventure, and people are going to have a blast.
It's hugely rewarding, to be a part of something that kids of all ages worldwide have responded to in such a big, powerful, and positive way.
We have this great history of working with really smart people. We worked directly with Peter Jackson on King Kong to do King Kong 360 3D, and so working with Michael Bay and ILM to make a ride out of Transformers is just a natural, and what we found to be exactly the way to do it. Go to the source, get the people that really get it, bring their expertise combined with our history of ride technology and immersive environments and great ride thrills. And, you know, that's the recipe for success. Transformers, you know, just terrific story, great characters, great action, great struggle between good and evil. We got the guy who took those characters and turned them into a blockbuster monster. And then we've got ILM, who did their magic on, you know, bringing the characters to life in 3D. And we combine all that with our experience at Universal of making really immersive, great, exciting attractions.
The Ride 3D is now officially open.
The interactive blending between live action and these extraordinary battle scenes is pretty breathtaking. I had an amazing time.
The ride was as wonderful as you can even imagine. It's really otherworldly.
Autobots, transform and roll out.